Good evening, America. Kind of took a little bit of the day off yesterday. And been having to. I haven't done much today either. Just haven't been feeling good. This is Vicky here. What I found out, so much stuff has been going on. What we found out from the emails is Trump has also paid 2 different times, paid $3 million out to families for basically raping children. Okay, there's another email out from the Epsteins. That was back in, hell, I can't remember the date, but it's not more than probably 8 years or something like that, maybe 10 years. Could be longer. Like I said, I'm not sure on the date. I need to go back and check that. But anyway, it basically, Epstein in there says that, remember I told you the one about the Madonna, that's a virgin. Well, the other one is the Bubba. Everybody's thinking it's Bill Clinton, and it's a possibility it could be, but I doubt it. I actually think it's a code word. More that I find out in the research, the more we find out, is it's just code word for a young boy in the pedophile world. It's just code, and that makes sense because, like I said, like I told you, if you know how to read emails when you're blackmailing people and spying and all that shit, they work in code. That's where it's like a deal, like when that poem, that little note that Trump sent to Epstein on his birthday, where it had the outline of the woman's body on that. Yeah, they're literally talking in code there. So it's like, ooh, like a little 5-year-old. We got our little secrets, and they don't know our code. Well, that's what that is. Okay, and. It's really amping up. Oh. There we go. Stuff came up on my screen, didn't need to be there. But yeah, it's really amping up. The crowd's getting out there. More people are protesting. I believe there were some more protests this weekend and today in Washington, D.C. Guys, some of the MAGAs are now catching on. And it's horrible. And when and then some of these people are literally trying to make excuses for this man. Literally making excuses. Oh, well, they're only 15 years old. That's okay. It's not as bad as an 8-year-old. I'm sorry, people. This ain't like you have a 18, 17, 18, 19, 21-year-old kid. You have a man that was in his 30s and 40s. Okay? They know better. Okay? Let's put that in context. It makes a whole lot of difference when you have a 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old having sex with an underage girl than it is when they're 30 or 40 years old. Okay, people? It's different. Okay? But and we have Republicans making excuses. And the rumor is, like I said, the other rumor stuff, and you can see the people that, and it's being downplayed, and I'm glad to see it. But there's Republicans that are ready to vote to have the Epstein files released. But I think they're going to pull a little secret. They'll do, we're going to investigate Bill Clinton. Well, if they do that, then they can hold up the files. And it's bullshit. Okay? Especially after they already said, oh, there's nothing in the files, there's nothing to worry about. Well, again, if there would have been something in the files that they could have got Democrats on, they'd already did it. People, they'd already did it. But they're only little saving graces. Well, they can't necessarily investigate something without other stuff coming out unless they literally hide evidence. And that's literally what's going on. They're hiding evidence. There is so much of criming what this president's doing. It's just unfreaking real. I cannot believe to say this today that I've seen criminals. I have more respect for the crack whore and the crack dealer than I do Donald Trump. That's fact. I do. They have an addiction. They have a problem. Trump knows better. Okay? Trump knows better because he's making money off this deal. And what we're going to find out in the end it wasn't Epstein's operation. I think we're going to find out they were partners in this deal, and probably Trump was the most prevalent one in running the deal, because we already know we got close to I don't know how many millions of dollars in transfers, or something like 41 deal. Also, with the 20,000 documents, they did a search of the documents and seeing what the names that came up in these 20,000 documents, which was given to the Democrats by the Epstein estate. Okay, pictures are supposed to be coming next, so that'll be interesting. Also, boy, I lost my train of thought on that. Let me pause here a minute. Look. Okay, on the 20,000 emails that, like I said, that came out, they did a search of it, of the names, what came up. Of those 20,000 20,000 searches of those documents, Trump's name came up more than anybody, way more than anybody. We're talking, maybe 2,000 times, and everybody else is maybe 10 times, maybe 20 times at the most. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, most of the people don't understand and I don't either. You understand the pedophile, again, like I found it. But I knew when they said Madonna, I knew exactly what they were talking about. That's literally a virgin. I mean, if you understand religion and anything else, when you say Madonna, that's the Virgin Mary. Okay? Emphasis on the virgin. We've also found out that there is abuse in it. I mean, they're literally, what do you call it? They're beating the children. Sexual sadist shit. Okay? That's in there. It's literally, this in the end is going to be, it's going to go down, and I've said this from the very beginning, the more that I found out about this, but I've said this for a long time. This is going to go down as the world's greatest scandal, pedophile scandal, because it involves Russia, it involves Israel, and it involves a lot of rich people around the world. Okay. Also today, there was a video that dropped, I think today or yesterday, that about the bishops all got together and said, no, we cannot. They're down on the administration for what they're doing to the immigrants. It is horrible. And these are legal immigrants, a lot of these people. They're getting more legal immigrants than they are illegal. Okay, they're not going after the drug dealers or anything else. They haven't done shit about that. The only ones they happen to catch is by accident in the roundup, people. It's horrible what's happening in this country. We literally have Nazis working us. Okay, and y'all need to go out and watch the movie Nuremberg to emphasize to you how easy the evil is and what it comes down to. You know how evil happens? When good people do nothing. That means you don't say nothing, you don't do nothing, you just let it happen. And we gave too much deference to these rich people in this country and allowed these people to get away with things. Okay? It's freaking horrible. Okay, on the Ukraine side of this, okay, I'm wearing a shirt and the thing, they're fighting. They've given up some ground, but I believe, and they're hinting it, but I believe it too, studying enough of it, being a veteran and stuff, and studying it. And there's other people out there that know more than me, and they believe the same thing that I've come to the conclusion on, is they're giving ground for the winter, as well as a trap for later on, and allow them to expend this forward battle that they're moving forward, and let them burn themselves out. It's just like the Battle of the Balls. They go so far, and then they either run out of people, they run out of supplies, other things. Okay, the other thing that we found out is that they've cannibalized all their medics and doctors. They're putting them on the front lines. Okay, that's being done right now. The other thing that we found out is that they're doing World War II style stuff like they did. Is, well, if they don't have enough weapons, the guy behind him is going to walk into the guy in front of him that gets killed, and they pick up the weapon and they fight. This is the tactics. This is the stuff that they're doing, people. This is how horrible this war is. You have to understand something, people. This is a world war. The war is there. The war is in Sudan. There is the war in Syria. All that, that's the battle. What's happening here is the propaganda war and the political war. The financial war is happening here. Okay? As well as he's trying to strong-arm Venezuela and Argentina. Okay, and Colombian president came out and spoke about that. You need to go watch his speech. It's really that good. And once I learn how to link all this shit up, I'm still learning. I mean, I read and I don't understand half of it. Being dyslexic, it's very hard for me to learn sometimes. And not that I'm dumb. It's just, it's hard for me to learn because I got to read it 5, 6, 7 times sometimes before they understand it. Okay, I am smart. I'm not tooting my own horn. It's just true. I'm not dumb. Okay, it's literally like, for me, when you see words, they look like Russian words to me. If you looked at them, when I see them, they're Russian words. Same way, S's are always backwards to me. Period. S's will always be backwards to me. Okay, sometimes D's look backward. They flip at times. E's and F's screw with me and stuff. So, but yeah, it's going to get real hairy here over the next few weeks, and I think we'll come to a head by the first of the year, or right after the first of the year. It's moving fast. Like I said the other night in the video too, it's a smash and grab. It's an out of control train now. Okay, and people are literally grabbing whatever they can grab. Whatever they can grab on their way out. Okay? What we see going on is another thing that's going on. Okay? We see the real estate market being bought up. Okay? We have an Israeli company. Just found that out today. We have an Israeli company that owns something like 49 buildings and complexes and apartment complexes throughout the South. Texas, Georgia, some other states, Florida. Well, what they're doing, okay, because remember, we have laws that says you can't raise their rent. Well, what they do is they'll go add fees onto it, or create crappy service to the people, either move out or they get behind on the fees and they throw them out, then they can raise the rent. That's literally what's going on. These are, to me, as far as I'm concerned, these are vulture capitalists. Okay, that's going on across America, not just this company, but we have an Israeli company. What's bad about this company is the same company that's doing things to people in Gaza. The Palestinians, same people. So if you have people that own companies over here, and the way they treat people and Palestinians over there in Gaza, you want them over here in America? I don't want those kind of people here. Okay, me personally, I don't believe any corporation, foreign corporation, be able to own the land. They can own the building. Okay, but if they have a corporation over, they got to be well restricted and well regulated. Okay, they can't screw Americans. They can't monopolize the market and allow it, because what the war is that's going on, these corporations are literally trying to take over the world. What I see it, again, I'll give you my part. This is what I think. This is my opinion. Okay? They can't wait to use AI. The reason is, I think they think that they can figure out, and think about this. Now, think about this. Remember how we see Casey's stores, people here in the Midwest, you see other stores where they're making the stores boxy, they're simplifying the print on the buildings and everything else, and they're standardizing the sizes of the buildings, just like the big box stores, they're standardizing all that stuff. Well, if they do that in regions, think about this, guys. Well, when you have venture capitalists, they sell out all these retail markets, let's say, what's it called when you buy a franchise? Well, if they sell all these franchise off, they have all these stores and things don't go bad, they can go in there, and as the market changes and these stores go out, they can immediately, because they already have the square footage, they already know what's in there, boom, they can easily move and put another business in there intact fairly quickly. I'm not talking years, I'm talking months, sometimes weeks. Okay? That's literally what's moving on. And when that happens with AI, these people will literally be able to control people, who gets jobs, who doesn't get jobs. Okay? And remember, they've talked about the haves and the have-nots. Well, the more there's haves and the more there isn't have-nots, there's no middleman. There's no middle management or middle class. Okay? Well, when there isn't, you'll have a few. There's fewer middle class. Well, it's the same way when you have a middleman. You have a whole bunch of this, and there's a few middlemen. But up here, there's no way for you to get through that roadblock of the middleman, which usually you've got to be a corrupt son of a bitch to be a middleman in most of these businesses. Not all. I'm not saying all of them are corrupt. But history proves we've moved that way. So, if we create the haves and the have-nots, again, that's like Soylent Green, like I told you, the movie. Okay? And the way that we have deregulations, people, there's reason for regulations. If they can put whatever they want in the food, they can keep all the good food and feed us crap. That's just genetically modified crap that they can feed us. Because we already know they're sticking plastic in pizza cheese. We know that. Okay, I learned that over 20 years ago, people. That's what they can do. They're literally paring down the market to where they can control the whole market. And if they control the whole market, they control the food, who eats, who doesn't eat, who keeps a job, who doesn't keep a job. Okay? And they can easily transfer it over and move it. Because, see, they don't care about us down here. They want to make their money up there. Let them rich people fight it out and have the takeovers and all the other vulture capitalists and all. They take over and they fight. Well, we down here, we starve to death. Okay? That's what's coming. That's what I see coming. Okay? Another thing, I think UFC fighting should be outlawed. That's just my personal opinion. Because, again, UFC, the only thing that's different with UFC, there's a lot lax rules. Well, there's only a couple rules. Is you can't break bones, you can't do a thing. Well, again, these are the same people who would do this to immigrants. Dana White. These are the same people that don't give a shit. Trump's already said, oh, yeah, let's bring the immigrants, let them fight to become a United States citizen. Okay? And if you abuse women and beat women and torture children with sex, and then that's already in the let me move this here a minute. If that's already in the emails that we got. So people, if they will do that, these are the same type of people, okay? And think about it, our government under ICE is taking people's money. Here we go again. Taking people's money, I mean not money, their watches, everything else, and then never gets returned. People, that's Nazis. I've told you that before. Well, now with everything I just told you in that, do you think these same people, because remember, we've said about corporations and about insurance companies, they're cold-hearted bastards. How many of you people have said that they're cold-hearted bastards? Well, do you think them bastards are going to give a shit when they're the haves and we're the have-nots? We're already there. We just got to move out the middle class. Okay? Again, they've literally taken over the fucking government. The corporations are literally dictating government. We have Democrats that are fighting. We have a few. I think there's maybe one or two Republicans, but they're keeping their mouths shut because they don't want to be primary. They don't want to get death threats from you, MAGA. Yeah, you people, because you're too stupid to understand what the fuck's going on. You're literally helping the people who want to enslave you. You're helping them. You're the willing idiots. Okay? You're the unwitting asset. That's what you are. Because I want you to understand, these moves that are being made worldwide and in this thing, Trump doesn't have a clue on any of that. He doesn't understand it. He does have an evil mind. He does understand the mob. He understands he wants his. He's getting, like I told you, he's getting his piece out of this. But it's not going to go well. Okay? I actually feel better today knowing some of this stuff. I'm horrified and I'm scared. Don't get me wrong. Okay, and we got to get out there and we got to do the marching. And we got to do the stuff you got to call. But I feel better today. I see hope. And not saying, but what I see is we're in for a long road to recovery. The damage that is being done by these people and these corporations. We have to get the money out of politics, period. Because, again, Republican and even some Democrats have proved they're not there for us to do the legislation. They're there to make money. Insider trading and all that other shit to enrich themselves. Fuck that. They're not doing it for, I want to help my country. I serve on a board in my community. Why? Because I want to help my community. I don't get paid for that. Okay? I do that because I want my community better. Okay? And again, it goes back to, if they continue to screw us, they're making money off the poor the way this is set up. Because they get tax credits to start programs that help us, so they get a write-off, right? They pay us less, so they make money off that. Then they use the money through the Medicaid and Medicare and all the other WIC programs to feed the poor. They did because they don't want to pay wages. Well, they're making money off that, people. They're literally making money off that. And again, like I said, it's a nice evening out here. It's about 63, 64 degrees out here. It's pretty nice tonight out here, Southwest Missouri. I think I'm going to start having future. I'm lining out for our itinerary. As I'm going to try to have in the future, once I get better at this and get things lined out, I want to have a thing called on the back porch, or evening on the porch, something like that. If you have any ideas on that, bring it back to me that we can get into more things. And eventually, I want to go when I get better at this. I want to start having a live deal where you guys can get in and get on this. And not in the future, once we get through some of this, I'm hoping to turn it over into a community thing where that we can help our communities, ideals for our communities and things like that we can do besides talking about the politics. But let's come up with some ideals that we can do, and then go back and help them in your community. Organize together, people. Organize together. Okay, because sometimes what you have here, someone doesn't have over there. It's like, it's like I used to work with my competition where I used to have my business, my automotive shop. And I got to know all my competition. Most of them were, not all of them, I had a few that were just good people. Good people. And they were willing to help when times were hard and I was literally starving and going to go out of business. Them people stood up and helped me. Why? Because they want to see, they're not there just for them. There were other businesses that they wish everybody would go out of business, and them were the ones that usually were screwing people anyway. And my point was I always wanted to help people. I always took care of, especially single mothers that had children. No, I took care of those. I fixed their car and did it at a very low cost. I mean, that's just the way I believed in it, because my father did it. My father brought people home that were kicked out, kids that were kicked out. We brought people home, kids that were kicked out, and stayed with us, and everything else. And their fathers and mothers maybe alcoholics and abusing them. We did that. Okay, we learned that. You got to take care of each other out here, people, because we got to get past this attitude: is I got mine, fuck you, and I'll do everything I can to keep you from getting yours, and I keep mine. That's the attitude I've seen since the 80s, and I don't like that. Okay, I've never liked that, and it doesn't mean that I'm not successful. Okay, I've been successful, and I could have been better successful. I made a lot of mistakes. We all make mistakes, people, but I want to see my country do better. Okay, I want to see my country do better. I want to see my countrymen do better, and I think we have a chance in this country to have a major shift in foreign policy, product policy, and energy policy, because the world's changed, because we grow more crops that we send outside this country, or that we feed animals, than what we grow crops to feed people in this country. And that needs to change, people, because we cannot depend on the world to feed us if we fuck the world up. Yeah, if we fuck the world up, they can hold stuff back on us. I'm not saying that we shouldn't help, and that's the reason it was set up originally. My thought is on this, everything I read, is why we intertwined is so we made each other depend on it. But you get a bad actor like Trump, which again, I've told you, I believe he's being run by Russia, because his policy, as far as I'm concerned, is Russian policy. Period. Okay? It's Russian policy. And not me just saying that. I came up with that a long time ago. I mean, I've said it close to when he was in his first administration. But other people that are smarter than me, that understand this, are saying the same thing. If you look at it from the aspect we're looking at Russia, we're looking at China, our enemies, these policies that he's trying to put down, these things that he's doing, where he basically told that the Veterans Day on the 11th, the speech they gave, he insulted all of our allies from World War II. The Canadians, the Finlands, you name it, he insulted them. Okay, because he went up there and said, oh, United States did that. People, if United States only went in there by itself, they couldn't have done it. Period. End of story. It took all of us to do it. England couldn't have did it by themselves. Europe couldn't have did it by itself. It took all of us. It took Australia, Canada, United States, New Zealand, and other foreign countries to do that. Okay? he insulted our allies, our longest serving allies. Okay, just like he did with there in Afghanistan and around in that area in the Middle East with our longest allies were the, God, I can't think of their names now, where he screwed them out, which turned them over and let Turkey just kill them. I wish I could think the name of people. If you remember it, put it in the comments, please. But yeah, he sold them out. They were some of our oldest allies. I mean, they did things for us over the past century, half century or more, that saved us from world wars. I wish I could think who they are again. They're a tribe. Again, they were trying to have their own homeland and everything else. Well, Trump sacrificed them when he turned Afghanistan loose back and let Turkey just slaughter them. Erdogan in Turkey is not a good guy. Erdogan, he's not a good guy. Okay, he's the better of a worse option. That's what he is. Okay. And with that, I've been blathering for 26 minutes, and I guess I'll get off here. And y'all have a good evening. I'll be back out here to do my democracy pot, and I'll try to get more videos out if I can. But like I said, my health is more important than these videos. But I'm trying to do it because it's important. This democracy doesn't die in this country. We need to save it. Okay. And again, it scares me how close we are to losing it, and we could still lose it because it's the way that I see this whole plan is. They're 90% there. The last 10% is what's left in the political realm, what's the people, and the judicial system, okay, and the military is the last three. Those little things, and they're all a piece of it. They're nothing major. All of those has got to work to a point here coming up real soon that something's got to be done. Because Trump lied. We have Trump in lies. Period. The lies that he's told. We have Ghislaine Maxwell in lies. She lied. Those emails prove she lied. Okay. She never saw Trump with young boys or young girls. Well, emails say different. Okay. And that ain't even a half of the other stuff that the federal government has. That they have, because they have enough documents they can fill up a building. I mean, a high-rise building, people. Semi loads of probably good 10 semi loads of, if not more, of documents. Okay, follow the money. That's what's got to be done. Follow the money. That's all you got to know. You follow the money, you'll find out. And with that, I've been blabbering again because I'm just so angry. Just so angry, people. And I do this part of it to get the stress out and stuff and keep my PTSD under control, because the stress from this and the things my government did are the things that were some of the things that were done to me, the games they play, the lies they tell. Okay, I'm not saying my government is totally bad. It isn't. It's when different people, bad actors, get in our country, they can ruin our country. And Trump is a prime example of what he's done to all our allies. And with that, y'all have a good night.